Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of the Neutral News Network. I'm Brian alongside of Zach and Jake. Obviously, this is not our normal time that we usually meet with you on Wednesdays. However, obviously, breaking news that has kind of shot around the United States. Charlie Kirk has been pronounced dead after an assassination at a speaking event in Utah at, I believe, Utah Valley State University. And I believe he was pronounced dead officially approximately 10 minutes ago. And we're coming here live to you guys. Obviously, we do all of our video recordings live, but this is to cover a specific event. Um, obviously, a lot of the stuff is ongoing, and we're going to give our thoughts and commentary on this event as it starts to transform. Just getting stuff right out of the way, just completely off the rip here. If anybody has questions, comments, anything like that they want to post, keep them absolutely respectful. Uh, this is boiling over to a point where we really need to start to pump the brakes because obviously political violence has been increasing quite rapidly around the United States and really around the world, and feeding into it is simply going to make it worse. So. We will be making sure that if you're not banned from the comment section, we will be making sure at the very least to not read your comment or question if it is of a derogatory comment. Me personally, not a huge fan of Charlie Kirk. That does not mean he deserved to die, especially in this nature. It's unfortunate that we've gotten to this point, but obviously there's a lot of information coming out rapidly, so we want to try and convey that to you the best way we can, keep you informed. I know a lot of individuals have reached out to me personally outside of this channel to ask me questions. So if you have any questions while you're watching this today, please do not hesitate to put them in the chat, and we will do our best to answer them the best we can. Outside of that, other than that, gentlemen, anything you want to add really quick before we get kind of started in kind of going over the timeline and what has happened here today?
Nope, I
No,
think we're good
just
to
just
just
echoing what you said.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. So, just for context, for anybody who's tuning in and watching us, prior to kicking off the live stream, we were discussing where the shooter potentially was located and what type of shot they potentially had. And there are reports now from some individuals that there was an individual spotted on a rooftop approximately 375 horizontal like feet across the ground from an individual who recorded a video on Twitter, basically highlighting that individual on the roof. Now, if this is where the potential shooter was, obviously 375 feet is over a football field in length, over probably about 100 and I'd say 130 some yards, give or take, 125 yards. And this individual was on a very elevated surface, looked to be a multi-story parking lot structure or something very similar to that effect. And on videos that we're not going to show on this channel, obviously, witnessed earlier on the graphic video that showed when the bullet struck Charlie Kirk. The sound that rang out, I'm no firearms expert, but it did sound to be a high caliber weapon. Definitely a higher caliber than a typical AR-15, which has been used in assassination attempts like this in the past. Ergo, Trump's assassination attempt late last year. So it just definitely screams premeditated. Obviously, anything we say here is not an
Yeah,
official
I would
determination of anything.
I would be
We are
shocked
not
if there's like a manifesto or something.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, if this is a professional hitman, he's not going to leave a manifesto. He wants no trace.
Right, yeah, he wants no
Yeah,
trace. I
yeah,
don't even think they have found him yet.
yeah. So, and yes, correct. I believe that was also about 10 to 15 minutes ago when the official news came out that Charlie Kirk had passed away. Um, the mayor of the city stated that they are still looking for the suspect, and that search is ongoing. There was a video that went viral shortly after the shooting occurred of an elderly gentleman being arrested and carted or basically dragged through the area. That man is not the shooter. I do not know if he has been pressed, like if any charges have been pressed against him for other purposes, but that individual is not the shooter. So if you see videos of an elderly gentleman being removed by police, that individual is again not the shooter. And I just want to make that very clear so that people don't hunt him down and try to do harm to that man. Um, but yeah, so obviously very, very much a rapidly developing situation. It's definitely, and this is not what we were planning on covering today. We were planning on covering Article 4 being invoked by NATO, which is again in itself a very important thing and something that obviously we want to cover if given the opportunity. It may not be today if we spend a inordinate amount of time covering this. But just to give a quick preview on that, and just to give you a bird's eye level view of that event as well. Around 19 drones flew in from Poland, or sorry, from Russia into Poland um, late last night, and they were shot down by NATO forces. And this proceeded to spark a invocation of Article 4, which basically is a meeting of all the NATO members and military assets to try and discuss future plans and assess security risks and things of that nature. This is the second time that it has been invoked, and the first time that it has been invoked since the start of the war in Ukraine. The first time, obviously, was when the war in Ukraine started. But yeah, so that is the general synopsis of that event. Just wanted to get that out there so people aren't totally in the blind with that, because that is important and that's something that obviously we should be keeping an eye on as well. As long as it doesn't get to Article 5, that is what matters, because Article 5 is basically a joint military response from NATO in regards to hostilities towards the NATO nation. So,
And um, like something I just something I was just curious about
yep,
was if any other shootings happened today. And
uh,
there was a shooting in Denver.
correct. There was a shooting in Denver. Zachary, you sent me that notification earlier. Do you have more information on that? I actually didn't get a ton of chance to, or a ton of time to read that. I was still at work.
No, to be honest, I have not seen anything else about it.
Happened
Jake?
around midday at Evergreen High School in Evergreen, 30 miles west of Denver.
Gotcha. Was
And
there
three people critically wounded. That's all I'm
interesting?
seeing right now.
Gotcha.
And I just want to say, while we're going through this, as I see tweets from former, you whoever, people who are well
Like
known,
yeah,
like
on
this
both
one
sides.
from former President Obama says, we don't yet know what motivated the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk, but this kind of despicable violence has no place in our democracy. Michelle and I will be praying for Charlie's family tonight, especially his wife Erica and their 2 young children.
And see, that's been pretty commonplace so far. A lot of individuals have been offering their condolences to the Kirk family, and wishing them obviously the best that they can. Uh, it's obviously it's it's just I think it has just a little bit of a different kind of je ne sais quoi to it, because of how prominent of a figure Charlie Kirk is.
Yeah, but it should, to me, it shouldn't.
Right.
Because
Any
these
any violence is
kids,
too much.
right, exactly. Kids are
Hmm.
dying too.
Right.
And
And
I think of those families, I think of Charlie Kirk's families, and like how do we, what do we do?
right. And that is a good question. And I've talked to some people who have said, maybe this is gonna be a start for more common sense gun reform, but we have to also be honest when we're reporting this story that, Charlie.
Brian, I can't hear you. Is it me?
Nope, I can hear you. I think we lost Brian for some reason. Got nothing still. This is what happens when you do things live.
Right, yeah. You get the technical difficulties. Um, yeah, what I think what Brian started going into was, yeah, like what do we do? And this might call for more increase in gun reform, but it also may not. But then it begs the question: how do we go about it? Is it more? I guess we'll see once the motivations come out. But
Mhm. Can you hear me
I
now?
don't know. Yeah.
Aha, we can.
Perfect. All right. Oh, welcome back. But yeah, like, you were kind of right on the nose, Jake. I was leading into the fact that something has to change. It's just what I think is the big question. It's just how do we get unified change? Because I
Right.
already
Yeah.
see the division out there of people pointing fingers,
Hmm.
and I said it's irresponsible to also not bring up the fact that Charlie Kirk has stoked some of these fires himself. I mean, he has throughout his history stoked the flames of very contentious rhetoric, and even going so far to say is sometimes like deaths via guns are like a worthy sacrifice or something to that effect, like in regards to keeping the Second Amendment.
But that doesn't
And the
mean
thing
he deserves to get shot.
I was just about to say, and that's his
Yeah.
absolute right to say that. It's absolute right to say that. He's allowed to have these opinions, and that doesn't mean that he's needs to be executed because of them. But it's you have to be able to understand that somebody who lights the fire for an arson can still die in the fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's not innocent in that regard. He's an innocent man in regards to the fact that he should not have been murdered, but he's not innocent in the fact that he stoked the flames that led up to his murder. That's all I'm saying in regards to that. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
I can see
you
that.
know, and that's the thing.
My thought
Uh,
with it is, I think one gun death is too many gun deaths.
Correct, absolutely. I,
Unless you're physically, your life is threatened,
right, like you
or
you
others'
yourself are
lives
in
are
danger.
threatened.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and I told somebody this. I said, sorry if this makes me a hippie, but it's crazy that we float on this rock in the middle of the universe and we just kill each other. Like it's so dumb to me that humans,
There's there's people out there that believe we're the only ones in the universe.
right, which is
I
even
mean,
more reason why we shouldn't kill each other.
right, yeah.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah. But yeah, so going a little bit less into the philosophy of things, just to give a timeline of events here. Um, so this has obviously been ongoing for a few hours now. And just to give you kind of a general synopsis, you know, I would say this happened probably shortly before 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. And the political spectrum, like across the board, has kind of condemned the shooting. Um, and a lot of individuals were reaching out as early as 3 o'clock. Shortly after, Trump weighed in and reacted to the situation, and at 3:08 p.m., Trump urged prayers for Kirk. I'm just kind of reading off the
The
AP News
timeline.
live updates here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so a Republican at the event at 3:26 p.m. said that they heard one shot, um, and I believe, um, yeah. So at 3:43, they did report a suspect in custody, but that has since been renounced. So I can understand why a lot of people are confused whether somebody is in custody or not. But yeah, as of 3:43 p.m., they did announce that, but that is no longer the case. At 3:50 p.m., Kirk was listed in critical condition per a law enforcement official at a local hospital, um, and I believe. Oh, what do you got up here? I think you might be muted, Zachary.
You're right. I'm just putting
Yep.
Twitter so you guys can see it. I have
Okay,
this
gotcha.
tweet on the screen. I won't read them all, but I will just casually show them on stream. But this one just says Homeland Security uh, is basically on the scene of where the reported assassin was. And from other video I have seen, he was basically straight out in front of where Kirk was set up, about 200
So they had
yards
a direct,
away. So yeah, he
so they had a
was.
direct line of sight.
Yep. There's even a
Gotcha.
video where you can see that after the shooting, you can see him get up and run away.
Hmm. So that is most likely the shooter then. Which
It would
if
appear
if
so.
the if the video that we saw then, if you had that video and you want to post that on the live stream, because there's nothing graphic in that video,
Yeah, I will
but
put it
it'll
in the
give
chat.
people
I can't
yeah.
show it, I don't think, but I can put it
Okay,
in the chat.
gotcha. Um, so for those viewing, if you guys see it in the chat, this individual looked like he was obviously on the top of this parking garage, if that's what it was, wearing all black and laying in a prone position. So just for more context purposes.
It's down here somewhere. That one.
Well, my question is too,
Mhm.
This one.
how
I don't know if you guys see that. You can see him right up there.
there's. My thought is, if he's on a
Mhm.
parking garage, there's going to be cameras somewhere.
Correct. You would think,
And
unless this
I'm
person is a true professional and disabled them.
right, and then that's the case, then he probably either yeah, that's yeah. He's
It's
fleeing
from
the area because
the
they're gonna stop. They're gonna. I don't even know.
like Loss Center. I think LOSSE, I believe, is the building that he was on top of.
If he's a professional, I'll be
Mhm.
shocked if they find him.
Correct. Which, that, and the thing is that in today's day and age, I'm not gonna lie, I would think it's pretty hard to be a professional hitman in this day and age with all the
I
all the
would think so
technology that's
too.
out there.
But then,
Like,
if he is a professional, I don't even know if he would. I don't think he's a professional.
but think of it this way too.
He might be
This
proficient, very proficient with the weapon that he fired.
correct. But I mean, Zachary, let's talk from our personal experience here. We've both fired a high-powered rifle before, um, at a shooting event, and it's not easy.
No,
Even if you have the best rifle in the world,
Yeah,
you
it
that's true.
takes knowledge of the weapon you're shooting, especially obviously the farther away you get, the harder it is.
Mhm.
And obviously we don't know exactly what the shooter was using, but
Mhm.
to be in an elevated position like that, 200-ish yards away, you got to kind of know what you're doing.
Right. And I wonder how long this event was, broadcasted ahead of time. Like how long they knew Charlie Kirk was going to be,
If
coming to this university.
if
University.
These
Oh,
events
what are
are
you saying,
pretty
Jake?
well telegraphed.
yeah, I was
That's
gonna say
fair.
it's a week or two in advance, is it not?
It might be
Yeah,
more,
yeah,
It might
honestly.
be further than
it might
that.
be more,
Yeah.
but these events aren't secrets. He's been doing them for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah,
Correct.
so
Yeah, and
that's
that's another thing
yeah.
too is, and especially if this was premeditated, which it, and again, we're assuming. Let's just be clear, we don't know for sure. But if this event was premeditated, obviously there's plenty of data out there on what Kirk does, how he does these types of things, what his mannerisms, what his movements are. If this is a professional assassin, he knew exactly what Kirk was going to do. Because if you notice, and again, we're not going to show the video because it's too graphic. But in the video, Kirk reached down for his mic, brought it up, sat upright, and then the shot rang out. Like the person almost knew that he was going to sit up perfectly straight, and he obviously shot him in the neck. Uh, which, obviously I don't know. Maybe he was aiming for the head and he missed.
Well,
But
see,
either
see,
way,
see. My thought. I don't know if this is accurate,
mhm,
but I'm no expert.
forensic analysis or
Yeah,
forensic
I'm not
analyst. Yeah.
I believe people that are more proficient in killing
Mhm.
aim for the neck instead of the head.
Interesting.
But I don't know.
See
I don't know
now,
where I heard that. I have no basis for that. So take that with a grain of salt.
now
I've
this is a
heard that. I don't know if I've read that in a fiction novel or
mhm.
where I've heard that, but I've definitely heard that.
Well, as somebody, and this is a slight joke time for me personally, but as somebody with a rather wide base neck, it's as wide as my freaking head. I can see. I mean, for them, it wouldn't make a difference, but for you, Jake, your head is not as wide as your neck's
Right.
not as wide as your head. So, I mean, I could see
Right.
where they do that for somebody like me, but I don't know if they do that for you.
But if you're proficient with the weapon and you're a precision shooter,
Yeah, because I mean, in all reality, where that shot hit him, especially with it being a high caliber rifle, from what it seems, it's a lethal shot. I mean, if you see the video, it the amount of blood loss that occurred in such a short period of time, um, if he would have survived, it would have been a miracle. Um, so But yeah, going into kind of getting into the mind of the shooter here. So this event, and actually, I'll pull it up here real quick, and then I'll share my screen just for um,
I'm not a
visual
gun guy.
purposes.
I don't know much about firearms.
I know enough, and Zachary and I both know enough, but we're not sharpshooters or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm
But
not either. I
yeah,
know enough.
we've just had opportunities provided to us, like where
Yeah,
we can obviously use them.
yeah, I have two.
Okay. See, and I mean, I have one. The ones that I've shot have been owned by other people, but
Yeah, same.
yeah. Okay. Got it. Got it. All right. Let's see.
But
Share
I
screen.
mean, when I shot him, I missed the targets completely.
Right. And because that's the thing is that shooting a weapon is not easy inherently.
Oh,
Especially if you're new to it, which is why I do believe this person probably knew what they were doing with some
and
confidence.
I wanna backpedal on that a little bit
Hmm.
in terms of like school shootings
Hmm.
because they're not those people aren't proficient in any weapons. They're there to
At least most of them are not. Yes.
right, most of them. I'm sure there's some that have some
Hmm.
knowledge, but most of them are they plan it, they have access to a weapon, and they go do what they do, which
Hmm.
is terrible.
So it seems like the individual in question was at this structure here, the Career Development Center, and then the the meeting area where Kirk was stationed was down here in this area. Um, I'm sure this is getting pinged like no other right now because yeah, Kirk was down in this area, which yeah, again, you almost have to be above this tree line here to get any kind of visual on that area from what we're seeing there. Be curious to know. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And I believe this is also like the largest university, like one of the largest universities, if not the largest university in Utah.
Oh, really?
I believe it's the largest public university in Utah. Okay, so so there's okay, so this is actually a really good vantage point here because apparently he was down in this area. If what I'm looking at in regards to the image you sent me on Discord, Zachary, is correct from that Twitter post, um, it looks like we're kind of right looking directly towards the area in which the shooter would have been, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I
not
mean,
seeing really anywhere here because you can see that water feature, right? And then the building that he believes the shot came from is like right here. So, and
and
we're
there's
at
a
an even more elevated point
there
here. So if Charlie Kirk was depressed down there, you couldn't have seen them through the trees.
unless you're on the roof, maybe.
But
Unless
even
you,
then, like because we're at a higher up spot, right?
I,
So like we
I'm
should be
not
able to see.
convinced the building that you're looking at is correct, but give me a moment.
So
that's where he was, right? Are you sure?
So if
well,
look look at my screen if you can real quick.
yeah.
So there's a part of the building from the overhead that you can look at that sticks out a
Out
little
that
bit.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's
Which
just on the edge of it. But I think maybe
see,
that's an
because I
old
feel
picture
like
and some of those trees aren't there anymore.
maybe that's about the only thing I can think because if because I'm almost positive we're in the right spot. Like because like if we look at that Discord image, I went like we were right here.
If you
'Cause there's
go
that water
just
feature.
yeah,
Because
that corner right there.
but yet
So
like
there's a
we
few
were right here, and oh the trees do look gone right here.
yeah.
Interesting. Wonder if there's more. Yeah, so this is January 2023. That's much more. Look at that. That's much more
And
accessible.
that right there basically where your mouse was is in the
That's where he
video where
is.
you can see him get up and run.
Yep.
That's pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
So,
Yep. Then I think we know where it was then, and it's crazy because yeah, that is a direct line of sight right to where Charlie Kirk was. That's crazy. That is bananas, actually. Wow. Yeah, because well, whoa, okay. So, do you remember that first video that you saw of the event, like of when this happened?
Yeah.
yes.
I think a lot of the people, like the first video was taken from like right here, or the first video was
Yeah.
taken from somewhere in this area over here. Which
Okay, not
yeah,
right.
because like, but like that's the building right there. So they were looking. So they were
They're
standing
standing,
here looking that way.
on those rails, yeah.
So oh my gosh, yeah.
Well,
So it was
my
it
thought
was
is
right behind.
where was this? Why wasn't there more security on that?
I
Like
see.
when?
I don't think he gets that type of security. Like, I don't think he gets
Oh,
sniper
okay.
coverage. I don't like. I don't think he's ever had sniper coverage. I think he's had, obviously armed guards probably close to him, but
Okay,
I
that's
don't even
fair.
know if he's had armed guards close to him because I don't know what university policy is. That like universities might not allow him to take armed guards onto campus.
Oh, that's true. That's a fair point.
Yeah. So
I'd
so
want
that's
like my thought with these, and he's a political activist, so
correct.
wouldn't he have some sort? Wouldn't my thought? Wouldn't there be like better security, better for
See, and
him?
well, and that's the
I'm
thing
not
though is that
necessarily saying for like the campus itself. I'm just saying for
Like,
him.
he has
you
private security, but
right.
like for an event like this and for somebody like him,
You don't have counter snipers.
being
Right, I guess that's
assassinated from
fair.
200 yards is not something that, like,
Not in most people's
you're
playbook.
significantly more worried about someone getting close to you and shooting, in which case the private
Right.
security he has
Would have
likely
prevented that
prevents
most
that. Yeah.
likely.
But
Yeah.
200 yards on top of a building, I mean, that one's
Yeah.
tough.
And it looks like, it's interesting because so going into the cameras side of things, right? This dude, professional or not, unless he is also an expert hacker, he did not disable every single camera in this area. Like, let's be clear. If he was on this roof and he escaped through one of these vectors here, if he took a vehicle, like, so the thing is that, and again, this is me trying to get into the mind of a assassin, which inherently I'm not, not only for legal reasons but also for the truth.
Yeah.
um, so this individual would likely have had to drop his clothes, change clothes, potentially have everything stored conveniently in a backpack or some kind of briefcase or suitcase, right? And then he would have to walk nonchalantly away and then get into a vehicle elsewhere, like where it seems like, oh, this dude just came out of this building, da 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 da, no big deal, right? Because I'm also guessing at being 5:50 p.m. or sorry, well, when did this happen? Probably 11 a.m. Mountain Time, give or take. Classes were in session at the university. So this dude can just escape in the fray, you know what I mean? With people going like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" He could be like, he could come down off the rooftop, right? And be like, "What happened? Did something happen?" Like, and then just kind of waltz away with the crowd type deal. You know what I mean?
If if they're smart enough.
Which, hey, I don't want to profile assassins, but I would assume a lot of them are fairly smart. A lot of them are calculated killers, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
Eh,
yeah, that's fair, but I mean, a lot of them. Oh, yeah,
I'm trying
I
not to
don't
be too
know.
conspiratorial while also like
It's
because I'm giving
saying
legit reasons. Yeah,
saying the person is like a professional. My thought
it's
is, why is it
yeah.
why is a professional at a Charlie Kirk rally?
I mean,
Why
like
does
we
that
said
matter?
earlier, like
Your
he's
camera just died, Zachary.
love that. My computer's
Yep,
struggling. Uh
gotcha.
he's been a very like divisive figure.
Okay, but
The
Correct.
things
what does a
he's
professional care? What does a professional care about
I mean, all it takes is one person to think, "Oh, I'm the only one that can make a difference." Somebody's got to
Right.
start somewhere.
Okay, but that
And
doesn't make them a professional. I'm saying, like,
No,
what does a
no.
professional
Okay.
hitman have to do? What?
well,
Why
we
not?
don't
Why
we
not
don't
go
know it's a
after a different
professional though.
Why not go after an actual politician if it's a professional hitman?
It doesn't have to be a
So
professional. Yeah, it just could just be someone who knows how to use a gun. Like,
now,
Right. That's
now,
what I'm. Yeah.
well,
Okay.
yeah.
This makes it sound like this guy knows what he's doing
correct.
in terms
I'm
of
assuming
like
that.
getting away.
Now, let me also preface something with this too, Jake. Why would a professional go after Charlie Kirk rather than a politician? And that kind of goes into
Yeah.
what I brought up earlier with like the Minnesota state reps, with the
Yeah.
guy who assassinated them. Um, you know,
Yeah. That's a good
that
point.
news story was gone within a week. Charlie Kirk is shattering the internet right now,
Yeah.
shattering the internet.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the big difference is that the when you talk about people who have a target on them, Charlie
Mhm.
Kirk would be far up on a influential situation. Like he's a much
Okay.
as sad as it is to say, it's much more influential for him to be assassinated than for some Minnesota state lawmaker.
No,
As sad as
that's
that is,
I can agree with that.
yeah.
I
So
can agree with that.
and that's where maybe somebody like Zachary, somebody says to themselves, like, I have enough money to hire an assassin and I'm going to change the world for good by getting rid of Charlie Kirk forever, right? The assassin doesn't care who Charlie Kirk is. The assassin just cares that the money goes in the bank account. And again,
That's
yes, I'm
fair.
very much leaning into somebody who is expertly capable of committing a calculated killing. I want to be very clear because Jakes makes a good point. There's no evidence to suggest that as of right now. I
Right.
am simply
I'm
making
just
that
going.
assumption.
Right. Yeah. I'm just going strictly like what we know right now, and
Right,
I'm just assuming that he's not.
right,
I'm taking the other side,
right.
but who
And,
knows?
and the thing is too, if you think of it this way, if the person can get out of the city, um, there's nothing but mountains around. Like if they can get out of this city
How long?
and escape into the mountains here, you can never see them again,
True.
I would like to point
ever.
out that I'm looking at like a website similar to like Flight Radar.
Yeah.
There's no, unless they're just not showing, there's no helicopters, nothing in the air anywhere near the university right now,
That's weird.
which
That is weird.
seems not right to me. But
Right. Like if you're searching for somebody with all hands on deck,
But also, would they make that public? Because
fair point. Yep.
they historically they have for manhunts and whatnot. You can track the helicopters
Oh,
flying around in
that's
circles and whatnot.
right. Because when they were
So,
searching for the ones who killed the Minnesota lawmakers, there were
oh, that's
helicopters.
true. Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
Is there any way to go back in time by chance?
On this site, technically, yes.
I'm gonna mute myself and take a bite of my snack here to make sure I stay fueled for this engagement.
Regardless, it shouldn't have happened. I'm just, I'm so
Correct.
tired of people dying because of.
If I'm there's
like,
definitely
I'm tired of
helicopters
the
in the air.
shootings. Tired of
Agreed,
it.
Jake.
And
I agree.
I don't necessarily believe in taking guns away. But there needs to be something.
Correct.
Because
There
you
needs
can't.
to be.
My thought is, you're not gonna. People on one side are gonna say no, you can't take the guns. People on the other side are saying we need more. No guns.
Right.
There needs to be
That-
some sort of reform. I don't know what it
Correct.
is.
Instead of just a constant bickering and
There needs to
nothing
be
getting
a
done.
united front on it, like you were saying.
Which and hopefully this is a bastion for change. I'll be completely upfront and honest with you. I don't think it will be, but
I don't
hopefully it
either.
is.
Yeah.
And you said there were helicopters, Zachary?
I think so. I will be honest with
Okay.
you. I think my computer's just having a bad time right now.
I mean, your camera did die, so. Are you sharing or am I sharing right now?
You are.
Okay, I am. Okay. I'm good on my section on sharing for right now, so I will stop unless you've got something you want to share. So we might just go back to the main
Yep.
main window here.
I don't know.
Trying to
Even
get
on I refreshed and I have other flights and stuff going.
Mhm.
I have nothing
That's
in
so
this area.
strange.
There's
That's so
Provo
strange.
Airport just to the south.
Did they delay any flights?
I was about to say that's a good question. If there's any flight delays going out of there, like I doubt they would do a ground stop.
Well,
But they
Provo Airport seems to be a very small airport. It's a municipal
okay,
airport,
so
so
just
I
like
yeah.
so. What county is this? I wonder if the county police have made any statement. I doubt they have, but let's see.
Flags at the White House have been lowered to half staff.
So
All right. I like this. Utah Valley University officials encourage students who are still on campus, who had taken shelter in university buildings after the shooting, to call for a police escort. Police will come and escort you out of the building.
okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Other people are getting out
Mhm.
that are scared. I'd be scared.
See, and that's the thing too. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that. This is why I think it's safe to rule it as an assassination, straight up, and not
Okay.
just a shooting. There was one shot fired, one target hit,
That's a fair point.
immediate departure by the shooter. Didn't try and attack any students. Didn't try and attack anybody else. There was a state senator there, I believe, a Republican, or not a Republican state senator, a Republican congressman there, who was not targeted.
So
So
my problem
okay,
is maybe with the word assassination.
okay,
Look at the shooter in the attempted assassination of President Trump.
Yeah, wasn't there only
Mhm.
one bullet
Like,
there?
it's still
uh,
an
yeah,
attempted
yeah, no, he shot
assassination,
twice, I think.
but that
Oh,
guy's not a
but
professional. Like
right.
Correct,
he was a guy with a gun who
correct,
evidently may or may not have really known how to use it.
right,
I
This
mean, it
guy
apparently
could
hit
just
him in the
be
head. I mean, his
like
aim wasn't too far off.
an
right. It's true.
experienced
I'm not saying that lightheartedly. I'm just saying
like this guy,
that's what happened.
this person could be just somebody who knows a lot about guns, knows how guns work,
Right.
has handled them, but it doesn't
Mhm.
make him a professional or like an actual assassin. I think the word assassination is what's really throwing me off. Like, technically,
Okay.
yes, but
I
it
mean,
gives a connotation that this is like a hitman, like Jake was thinking. Like,
okay, but
it's a weird.
was the guy? I mean, he could have been former military.
Could have,
That
but
it's still an.
I mean,
I
we
thought
we
to
we
be
don't know yet.
I thought
Yeah.
to be an assassination, it had to be a political, like
And I think that
person
that's
in
where I'm
politics.
going more for it, was like I'm calling it like an assassination in that regard, and less so like a murder. Like, because yeah,
Still
there's murder, there's attempted murder, there's assassination, there's attempted assassination. So I agree. I'm associating it with the political connotation
Yeah.
of
So
things.
the definition of like just assassinate, it's a verb. The murder, an important person in a surprise attack for political or religious reasons. So by that definition, I would say this
It
counts.
was an
Charlie Kirk
assassination.
was.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how you define an important person at that point, but I would
Mhm.
say he is. I would say he qualifies.
Definitely influential, if not
Correct.
Yeah, he's. I mean, Trump attributes him to getting him a lot of the younger votes.
Correct.
So I mean, I think that's important. Uh,
Very important.
whether you agree with Kirk or don't, he was very influential. I don't know. He's not important to me necessarily, but he's important to somebody in terms of
Absolutely.
politics.
Right. 100%. 1000%. Yes. So yeah, I mean, so that's kind of where and I didn't look at that definition beforehand, but that's kind of where my mindset was, that he was more of an influential, like, political figure. So that's why I've been labeling it as an assassination. But yeah,
Yeah, I would see that.
no assassin has to be a professional. I mean, if you look at the attempted
Yeah.
assassination on Ronald Reagan, the dude just walked up to him with a
Well,
gun and tried to shoot him.
I'm thinking of JFK. Was
It's only
that
Lee
dude?
Harvey Oswald. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was in
What?
a yeah. He
Right.
wasn't a professional hitman. He
No,
just
but
knew
he
how to
did have
use a
military
rifle.
experience.
Right, he had military experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And so yeah, I mean, that's where, I mean, we aren't going to know a lot of the answers to these questions until and unless this individual is captured. Um, and there's some information that we may never know unless he's, and then, you know, from there, there's still no
Regardless,
guarantee you figure
regardless,
out everything.
all of these murders, killings, assassinations, the person needs to be taken into custody and
Correct. Yeah.
as
Oh,
soon as
absolutely.
possible.
Well, and that's my
And that,
concern. If you're trying to do this, we saw what happened with Luigi Mangione when he killed the CEO of United Healthcare. I mean, it's not, if you're not caught immediately, it's not hard for you to go to a different state rather quickly. And with, like I was saying, in regards to the fact that he is in Utah, I mean, you can transit into some pretty rural parts of that state very quickly and disappear really quick.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, I guess it, if you don't catch the guy, you have to block off the borders of the state. You have to like limit travel if you're really trying to catch this guy. And
Right.
but if he's going up into the mountains, it's different. At least you can kind of like isolate it.
See, but
It's
now,
Like Rambo when he goes in
right.
the park.
Well, but now that's the thing though. If you start to lock down travel, right? And this dude just goes up into the mountains, which are just east of the city. And again, if he's planned for this, assuming
Right,
he's planned for this,
he could have a whole thing up there and
yeah,
start
he could have a week's worth of
shooting.
food. And are you really going to shut down the travel for Utah for a week?
That's a good
No.
point. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah. So, dude, like
How do you?
I sense your frustration, and it's like, yeah, I totally agree. It's like, what do you do? What do you do here?
Yeah,
Which is why, again, I'm leaning more towards this was very premeditated and not just a spur of the moment thing. Like, as
yeah.
far as I mean, yeah, and again, this is all, in my opinion, this is all going to come down to if there's any security footage of this individual. Like
Right.
any, like, of somebody, like, coming in or leaving at a weird time, looking weird, looking suspicious, having a
Yeah.
suspicious, like suitcase on them or something. That's the only way, because there's no description of this person. There's just a dude wearing black on a
There's
rooftop.
yeah, that's like the only footage, and that was what,
Yeah,
taken from a cell phone?
yeah, taken from a cell phone. And it looks like this was less of a parking garage and more of like he was on the maintenance roof of this building, which, so there's no other witnesses around him. If he now, here, this is me putting on my detective hat here. So he got on the maintenance roof of this building. So he either knew the building's inner layout and knew exactly how to get onto the roof of the maintenance building, or get onto the maintenance portion of the roof, or um, somebody, told him, like, he went and did recon on the place like a few weeks prior, and somebody said, like, oh, hey, this is, like, gave him a tour of the university type deal. um you know all that stuff could have factored into it, but, like, when I see that picture of the building, it's like, this isn't a parking garage, because, parking garage, cars come in and out, people might see him, somebody could stumble across him, like, on the roof of a parking garage by accident, because that happens all the time.
Right.
So, I don't think that was the case in this scenario. I think he knew the layout of this building and knew that he could get on the roof from this vantage point and see this.
Yeah. He definitely knew the location.
Right.
He's definitely planned it. Right.
And yeah, and I mean, it's just, getting into the mind of people like this is impossible if you're not doing what they're doing. But
I'm not even
it's
trying to get in his mind. I just want him to be caught, just like every other
right.
school shooting, anything. It's a
Absolutely.
thing that shouldn't happen.
Right. I completely agree. It's something that shouldn't happen. And
Regardless, you hate Charlie Kirk and or what?
right. It was just like,
Yeah.
you know, Trump's assassin. If anybody tried to assassinate Biden, Obama, any of them, like that's just not how you do political discourse. It's not how you should do political discourse. If you have
No.
an issue with somebody, take it up with them at the ballot. No need to kill them over it.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and and I mean,
And
I
and Charlie Kirk's not new. There have been Charlie Kirks in the past.
right.
It's just more
Social
out there
media has
because
made it more
yes,
prevalent.
right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of where I'm not trying to be offensive when I say this, but that's why I say it is that Charlie Kirk helped stoke this fire that led to his own demise. Like that's just the fact. It truly is. And it's unfortunate that it got to this point, but he has been a portion of the problem that has led up to this. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
but
called people Marxist, socialist. He has basically demonized people
why do
throughout
people
his
go into school? Why do people go into the schools and shoot kids?
because they feel like they've been wronged. They feel like they've been attacked.
By the kids?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes people feel like they've been bullied by their classmates, or sometimes people just have
Okay,
something wrong with
okay,
them.
okay,
Hmm.
okay. I'm I'm not looking at it from a kid killed a kid. I'm looking for the individual that goes into the school with the intent to harm children. Because that
Those
seems
people
to
are
happen.
psychopaths. Those people are mentally deranged. That's
Okay,
full stop.
but
Now,
okay,
so that in my opinion, there's a difference between that type of person who goes after, and I'm using the term innocent here, very, very, like, intentionally. Innocent children, right? They have
yeah,
not done anything to impact or harm the lives of anybody outside of their external group, right? Sure,
yes,
some kids might be bullies, but kids aren't going out and telling other people that they're worthless human beings, et cetera, right? Like that's not a thing. So, in the regards of Charlie Kirk, he is innocent in the regards of that he did not deserve to be murdered. He is
right.
not innocent in the fact that he has, again, stoked this type of rhetoric that could lead somebody into thinking that he is a detriment to society and needs to be removed. Again, that's not what I am saying. I'm saying that he has done things that enable that perception of him, where children are just children. They didn't do anything to deserve that perception. Charlie Kirk has done things to deserve that perception from others. I'm not saying
I
that
see
I
what you're
think
saying.
that. I'm just saying that his actions have led to other people seeing him as a threat to their survival, where
I
children
mean,
don't do
right.
anything to threaten other people's survival.
And it's like any assassination or assassination attempt. It's it's politically motivated.
Correct. This is all politically motivated. Now going into
But
a
I don't.
school and
But that
shooting
to
somebody,
me,
that's not politically motivated
yeah, right. But but
most
people
times.
take people right. But people are taking a lot of that
Oh,
as
yeah.
political.
And and yes, there's a layer of politics, but I hate the people who do that, who politicize every single school shooting. Like that's the thing, is like it is, I mean, everything is politics, right? Everything
Right. But
is.
then if you yeah, because then you got to look at it like eh, people politicize it because of on the right and the left because of gun control,
Yeah,
or
because they
if there's
have
a
their motives.
right, or if there's a uh, recently the transgender shooter.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I don't know.
Actually, um,
I just don't think it just shouldn't be politicized.
see now, this is where I'm gonna look. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves real quick. I'm doing something.
I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, right, dude. I'm just tired in general.
I'm just tired of the senseless killings. Go up there and fight with your words. That is Charlie Kirk's whole thing. He wants to have these conversations. He wants to, whether you call it rage baiting or whatever, he wants to talk to you about it
And I think
and
that's what
debate
it
you.
primarily is rage bait. I mean, it's the same thing that Caitlin Bennett did for the longest time.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't, If you don't want to hear him, don't listen to him.
True. But the problem is the problem is though, Jake, in that regard, is that
It's so
you
prevalent
don't
with
have to
social
listen to
media.
him. Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
don't have to listen to him, but his words influence the actions of millions of people, for good or for
Yeah.
bad.
No,
You
I
know.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
I get
that's
it.
yeah, and again, it doesn't mean he deserves to die, but
No.
it's like I said though, that the rhetoric that he espounds upon the world around him is what eventually led to this event happening. I'm not saying that he's the sole person responsible. Obviously, the person who pulled the trigger is the sole person responsible. But if he, in some way, shape, or form, eventually motivated that person, whomever it was, whether the person paid somebody to do it or whether the person took it upon themselves to do it, they didn't just do it for no reason.
No,
See,
I
it's
get it.
it's
I'm not saying it's
yeah,
just senseless killing. It's obviously
yeah,
not. I
and
mean, it
that
is. It's senseless killing, but it's not. It's premeditated. Is what I'm saying. The
right.
person
It's
that did it thought about it.
right. The person that did it thought about it, and they had a reason to do it. I mean, I'm sure all shooters somewhat have a reason to do it in their mind for whatever reason. But
There's
like this
yeah,
this person probably, if I'm being honest, probably saw Charlie Kirk as somebody who was threatening their existence and their way of life, and they thought that the world would be better off without him. Now, and it's not obviously the way you go about doing things, but if that's the thought process that that person had because of what they've seen Charlie Kirk do throughout his career, if Charlie Kirk was some businessman in Phoenix, Arizona selling mattresses to somebody, I don't think he gets assassinated. You know what I mean? Or martyred, because technically he wouldn't be an influential figure. But because of Charlie Kirk and because of who he is, and this is how it works for most
I mean, he could have
politicians
been
and
a
people
teacher
around.
in school and got killed.
Correct, but he's getting killed for a different reason. You see
Reason.
what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
get it.
Yeah.
I see what you're
The
saying.
people who murder people in schools, they're murdering people because they're deranged people. I don't think they're doing it to like
But those,
push forward a message, you know what I mean?
yeah, and my thing is, those people are. We're acting like Charlie Kirk's death matters more than kids in schools.
Oh, well, let's put it this way. Does it
The,
matter more than kids in schools? Absolutely not.
right.
However, is it does it make more of a difference as sad as that says as sad as that is? Yes, it does. His
It does,
his
but
yeah,
it
it's just,
should. But it shouldn't. The future of America is dying in schools.
but the thing is and I'm gonna sound so cold hearted when I say this. I really am. This is gonna be the most cold hearted thing I will say all day, Jake. I'm being dead honest with you.
No, it's
Uh,
fine. I'm
uh,
not gonna feel some type of way. I just am having the conversation.
in the way that Charlie Kirk has changed the world, those kids have done nothing comparatively. And
You're
now,
not
should
wrong.
they have the opportunity to go out and change the world? Abso-freaking-lutely. The fact
Yeah,
that they're yeah, like, but it and like that's kind of where I'm at, like with this here, like, and I know we kind of agree on this, but like the person who did this shooting, they shot him like to make a point or to send a message.
yeah.
When people do school shootings, the message gets sent afterwards. The people who do school shootings very rarely do it to send a message,
But I don't even
unless
think
it's for the
I don't
small
even
group.
think the message is heard. This message will be heard more than those
Correct.
kids dying in the school, and I don't think
Absolutely, it will.
and I don't think that's right personally.
Oh, I totally
I don't
agree.
think it should take this to
To foster change?
change. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I listen. Okay, yeah,
and
I'm
this
on the
probably
big
won't
train
even
here.
do it. But what
No,
will is the
you're right.
question.
And
Yeah,
Zachary, feel free to chip in there. But I agree. I don't think this will do anything. I think if anything, it's going to make it worse. Truthfully,
yeah, probably.
I
Yeah.
do. I think it's going to make it worse. I think we're going to divide more as a country. I don't think we're going to come together. I think we're going to keep playing the blame game. And yeah,
But
I've already
typically,
seen
tragedy brings people together.
not this tragedy, not this because the thing is that
I think it'll bring more
Bing.
people on, like your everyday Americans together. I don't think it'll bring lawmakers together. Which, well, unless you're on the far sides, I think the people in the middle will come closer together.
I
I don't think the people on
10 years
either.
ago, Jake, I would have agreed with you.
Really? Okay.
In 2015, I would have agreed with you. Now I don't.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is
Maybe that's me
because
being optimistic, but
I think it is, but obviously I think you should be. I'm not gonna hate on you for being optimistic. I just think you are being optimistic.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably what it is.
Um.
I want to
But
try to see the good in something.
me too. It's like I want the world to be much better than it is, man.
Yeah.
I wish we
Yeah.
didn't have to deal with this every. I wish we didn't have to live through another historical event every freaking 9 hours. I wish we didn't have to make this channel. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. Like it's good to talk about it though.
it's good. Dude. This is so good for my mental headspace just to
Oh
talk about
yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah.
Like just to get it off my chest because it's heavy stuff, man. We live in a world with a lot of bad things happening, and sometimes you just need somebody to vent to, whether that's a camera or whether that's your friends or
Yeah.
anybody. Just finding
Well,
somebody who
in
you
this
can
case,
talk to.
both.
Yeah, right. Hello, you're my friends now.
So real quick, just as of 11 minutes ago,
Okay.
obviously the ATF is on site and the FBI.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As of
I
at
hope
least
so.
11 minutes ago, they have not identified a suspect. They are combing through video and whatnot, but so far they have not identified a suspect.
That's gonna go long into the night.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Also, Vice President Vance is expected to visit. Let's see, I don't know if that was visit the. I don't know where he's going, but he is expected to go to Utah tomorrow. Vance is.
Gotcha. Interesting. Um. Gosh. What a time. What a time.
Yeah.
This was 14 minutes ago. A local mayor urges people to report anything suspicious as shooting suspect remains at large. Um, and then Utah's governor speaks with Donald Trump, vows to bring the shooter to justice. So, uh, yeah, David Young said the shooting suspect remains at large. That is the mayor of Orem.
Yeah, according to the Associated Press, officers near the campus where Charlie Kirk was killed have been seen looking at a photo on their phones and showing it to people to see if they recognize a person of interest. So maybe they have not publicly
Interesting.
identified anyone, but they have someone they're looking for.
Interesting. Okay. Um. Hmm. Curious is what I am. I'm doing some more searching in the background, so if anybody
That's what I'm doing, just combing
finds
through
it, yeah,
stuff.
I'm being a weather sleuth because I'm also seeing that they had a red flag warning today, which means that it was also windy, and I don't think that necessarily wind's going to affect a high caliber rifle at 200 yards, but not ideal shooting conditions. But then again, if you've only got one day to take a shot, you're going to take
Yeah,
the shot
200
regardless.
yards. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
But now, if you look, if you've seen the video, it does look like it hits maybe a little bit to the right. So we
Right,
also
of center
technically,
mass.
technically don't know where he was aiming.
Which, additionally, the wind was coming out of the south southwest, which means that it would have been blowing that bullet to the right from the angle in which he shot, because he shot going from east to west, and that would means that the bullet would have been, let's say Kirk's here, so the bullet is blowing it that way, so it's going to travel slightly off to the right, which is where it hit. So if he was aiming center mass, which maybe that shows you that the individual maybe didn't calculate for the wind. Maybe they didn't know what they were doing. Maybe they did. Tough to say. Let's see, Provo, Utah. Because right now it is. Let's see here. Jake, have you figured it out yet?
No.
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 If I was down there, I'd be trying my damnedest to figure it out.
Well, and that's the thing too, is
But
you
in
know,
any one of these shootings, I would want that though.
right, and not
Like
that
if this gets you riled up and this makes you feel bad, like this should make you feel bad with every shooting.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. If you're and that's how I am. Like when I see a school shooting like that, it gets me annoyed that we can't that we not that we can't, but we won't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, this should bug you. This should get you frustrated. The fact that people can get away with doing this, and
And
it's just an America thing.
but I understand. I understand the people like you were saying that are whatever he's dead. I get it. The people that
Hmm.
don't like him, don't like what he's about. I can
Hmm.
understand it. And they're on the side of like shootings happen in every single day in the United States.
Yep.
And they're tired of it. I get it. I understand. But I mean, I don't think it's I don't personally think that's the right attitude,
Correct. I would agree.
um but I understand it.
Um, Supporters have gathered at Kirk's Turning Point headquarters to pay their respects. Robert Kennedy Jr. appears to invoke his family's losses as he reacts to the killing. Be curious to see how OAN. OAN is a very right-wing news media platform, and I'm curious to see how they're framing it.
I mean, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you,
I mean,
sifting through the cesspool that is Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
Yikes. Like you said
Mhm.
earlier, like this is, I think you said it or I read it, one of the two. This is not going to bring us together and is going to divide us even more.
yeah.
Mhm.
Based on
I
the
was optimistic,
current
but
sentiment of the
Yeah,
internet, it's over. We're cooked.
yeah, deep fried even. Um,
that's why I'm not on Twitter anymore or
good,
X.
good choice, good choice.
I just
Uh,
can't do it. I'm not on anything. I just can't do it. It's not doing any favors for anybody
yeah,
besides us hearing about it.
right. Besides the mass like spread of news and information, which sometimes is not great, and that's
Good. Yeah, well, it's
how do
not
most people get
necessarily
their
true
information.
information.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you comb through what's correct, what's not? How do you form
Uh,
your own opinions when everyone's telling you what
it
you
Hmm.
should believe?
does sound like there's going to be a news conference shortly. So,
Okay.
if I can find where that's going to be,
We will watch
I,
that.
yeah, let me. 4 minutes ago, FBI Director Kash Patel, the subject of the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk, is now in custody.
Oh,
Oh,
good,
interesting.
So that
good.
explains the press conference that is coming.
Um,
Interesting. Okay.
I'd be now. I was just about to bring that up. I was gonna say when they find him. So it looks like they did. I'm curious if he's gonna be charged with an act of terrorism too.
Correct. My coworker brought that up too, since it was at a university and there were
Well,
other
it's
people there.
I'm looking at it from a Luigi Mangione standpoint
Correct.
because that was correct me if I'm wrong. That was he was charged with terrorism as well,
Correct.
and this is pretty
Arguably
similar.
much
Yeah,
more and much more. I mean, Luigi at least did his in the like the early morning when there wasn't a ton of other people.
right. This is
There
and
was,
he caused the
up to a
panic.
thousand people there. Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be fair, Luigi Mangione caused some panic too, but just with people who weren't immediately right beside him.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, you could see the video of people starting to run when the.
I believe people were injured post injury.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an act of terror, in my opinion.
Um, there's video of Charlie Kirk right before the shooting occurred, being asked about the transgender shooter by one of the people in the audience, and they asked him how many transgender shooters are there in the United States, and he said too many, and he was killed less than a minute later, which is interesting.
If you've seen some of the like some of the videos going around of past quotes and stuff he's had, things he has
Correct.
said, I don't sound like I am agreeing with this or happening, because I'm definitely not. Be very clear. He did not do himself any favors. He made a lot of enemies with
Correct.
the things he said.
Correct. Which is what the point I was getting at earlier. It's
Yeah.
that he has done nothing to prevent this type of thing from happening. If anything, he has stoked the very fire that has killed him. And that is yeah. Do you know how many how many transgender Americans have been shooters in the past few years? And his response was too many. And then somebody asked him the
What
very
about all
next.
the ones that weren't?
Correct.
What does it
Then
matter?
Hold on a second. That press conference is live.
I don't know. I don't know.
Struggling with news of the
I
incident.
don't know how long you
Call
guys are
988.
planning on
Our state
continuing
mental health
this, but I think
crisis
I'm
line.
gonna
hop
jump
off.
out of here in a few
Partners
minutes.
with the
Yeah.
FBI will also be discussing other ways we can communicate through the public
just-
for tips
I
and
wanna-
other information.
I have other things to do. I know that's like callous and terrible, but
Good afternoon.
I
How
think
dare
I've
you,
already,
Jake?
I
On
think
behalf
I've
of the
said
FBI,
my
we
piece
extend
on
our
all this.
sincerest condolences
How dare you?
to the family and friends of Charlie Kirk.
Gonna leave us forever, never to
Our
return.
thoughts are also
Nah,
with the
nah,
people who witnessed this traumatic event.
It's all right. I'll see you. I'll
We
see
know
you
that
this
what
this
you
weekend, so I can yell at
experienced
you.
was very difficult.
That's fine.
You'll see
Our
Zachary
thoughts are
this
with you
weekend
as
too.
well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's
I'm
gonna be at
seeing-
bowling.
Apparently, I'm gonna
Jake,
see a lot of people this
Special
weekend.
agents and
yeah,
personnel from
Jake's
Salt
gonna come to
Lake Field
bowling
Office
for maybe a game on Friday.
responded
Zachary.
immediately.
Nice. I linked
We have
the
full
press
resources
conference.
devoted to this investigation,
It's
Dope.
Alright.
streaming on somebody's YouTube channel, so I
operational,
can't
investigative, and
show it.
intelligence.
They, everyone
Gotcha.
stay
To be
safe
clear,
out there.
the
I'm gonna
FBI
hop
will
out of
fully
here.
support
All
and
right.
lead this investigation alongside with our
Bye forever,
partners.
Jake. Love you.
We are working
Love you
on
too.
setting up
All right.
a
See you
digital
guys.
media
See ya.
tip
Deuces.
line, and as soon as it's established, we'll get that information out to everyone. I know there's a lot of questions.
Ba-doom.
This is very much an active case,
All
and this
right.
investigation is
So
in
you
its
said
early
that will
stages.
be holding the press
We are
conference, that
following all the
YouTube
leads
link.
and all the
Oh,
evidence.
oh shoot, it's going live now.
If anyone has any
Yeah, it's
information,
live.
please report it to the FBI
Although-
or local law enforcement. Thank you.
I don't feel like I'm so
On
confused.
behalf of President Tumenez, who we've been communicating with.
Because
and
I
she's on her
swear
way
they
back
just
right
said
now,
the
I
guy is not in
I
custody.
want to say that on behalf of Utah Valley
Oh.
University, we are shocked and
So I'm
saddened by the tragic passing of Charlie Kirk.
So
We
confused.
express our sincere condolences to the Kirk
Maybe
family.
I just heard wrong.
We grieve with our students, faculty, and staff who bore witness to this unspeakable tragedy. He was invited by the student group Turning Point USA to speak on our campus. We firmly believe that UVU is a place to share ideas and to debate openly and respectfully. Any attempt to infringe on those rights has no place here. We do not condone any form of violence at UVU and seek to make our campus a safe place for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this dark and tragic occasion. I want to thank our law enforcement officers who are leading this investigation, starting with Chief Long and his response here with the UVU Police Department. We're grateful for your leadership and your team. And again, to the speakers that you've just heard from, who are co-leading this investigation. I also want to recognize Sheriff Mike Smith, who has been an invaluable partner as this investigation moves forward. I've been in touch with President Trump, with FBI Director Kash Patel. We are completely aligned with our state and federal partners as we work through this case. Now, this is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to two young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people. Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. It's foundational to the formation of our country,
the folks at this press
to our
conference
most basic constitutional rights.
but the director of the FBI said.
And when someone takes the life
Interesting.
of a person
And that's not a
because
shock
of their
to me that
ideas
there's conflicting
or
information.
their ideals,
Yeah,
then that
I
very
would
constitutional foundation
these sound
is
like
threatened.
prepared statements and not
Right.
the most.
Oh,
important
oh,
stuff.
We have a person of interest in
Wait.
custody.
Back
Oh,
up.
there it is. Yep, there it is.
The investigation is ongoing. But I want to make it crystal clear right now to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you.
So, wait.
And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law.
So he said person of interest in
And
custody,
I just
but
want to
still
remind people
then
that we
talking
still
as
have the
if
death
it
penalty
happened.
here in the state of Utah.
Right. That there's a second individual involved or another individual. Maybe
Or
basically
this is
saying
just
like,
a person of interest and not who they think did it, but someone who might know.
Right.
Our nation is broken.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had political assassinations recently in
Good.
Minnesota.
Bringing up the Minnesota.
We had an attempted assassination
Good.
on the governor of Pennsylvania.
I'm glad he's bringing this up.
And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate, a
Yep.
former
Glad he's-
president
I'm
of the
glad he's
United
bringing up
States,
all this.
and now current president of the United States. Nothing I say can unite us as a country. Nothing I can say right now can fix what is broken. Nothing I can say can bring back Charlie Kirk. Our hearts are broken. We mourn with his wife, his children, his family, his friends. We mourn as a nation. If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American. We desperately need our country.
Cole said that the stream audio is going in
Desperately
and out.
need leaders
so
in our
interesting.
country. But more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this
Could be
country
because this video is just really quiet. I'm not sure.
to think about where we are
Thanks, Cole. We'll look
and
into
where
it.
we want to be.
Appreciate it.
To ask ourselves, is this it? Is this what 250 years has wrought on us? I pray that that's not the case. I pray that those who hated what Charlie Kirk stood for will put down their social media and their pens and pray for his family, and that all of us will try to find a way to stop hating our fellow Americans. With that, we're happy to take a few questions.
The FBI director is boasting that that a suspect is in custody? I would just like clarification. Do you or do you not have a suspected shooter in custody?
We have a person of interest in custody that is being interviewed right now. We do.
That is not George Zinn.
George,
That is not George
guessing that
Zinn.
might have been the
That is
individual who was arrested earlier.
Are you still searching or looking for another shooter or anybody else?
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Yes, we are actively looking for anyone and everyone who has any possible information relating to this shooting.
Can you tell us details about the suspect being taken into custody? Where? How long ago?
We cannot at this point, but we will get you that information when we can.
Is there believed to be a second individual involved in the shooting?
At this point, there is no information that would lead us to believe that there is a second person involved.
Can you guys talk to the possible shooter?
Do you want to talk about what we know there? Yeah.
The only information we have on the suspect, the possible shooter, is taken from closed circuit TV here on campus. We do have that. We're analyzing it, but it is security camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the quality of that is. But we do know dressed in all dark clothing, but we don't have much better description other than that.
Where do you believe the shot came from?
The shot came from here on campus, from a location at a fair, potentially from a roof, yes. A longer distance shot from a roof.
So to clarify, with the security camera footage you have and the person of interest that's in custody, does that match up?
That's what we're trying to decipher right now.
So did FBI or DHS have anything on the threat board this morning?
I can't speak to that.
I'll just say that the investigation's ongoing, and as soon as we have further information, we will be sure to release it.
Any indications of foreign intelligence involvement?
As of now, I can't comment on any of that.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about the security of the event itself? Who was there security-wise and what happens on these kind of events?
Chief Long.
So my name is Jeff Long. I'm the police chief here at UVU, and I'll tell you right now, we're devastated. We're a small police department. We have a very large campus. We have over 40,000 students, and we love our students. We love our visitors, and we're devastated by what happened today. This is the police chief's nightmare. I'm very saddened for the Kirk family. I know his wife and parents found out about this. Obviously he's away from home. He's here in Utah. They find out by a police officer that visits their home. That's tragic. Nobody wants that. But I can tell you about our venue today. This was an open venue. This is outside. We did have 6 officers working that event. We had probably over 3,000 people that were in attendance. It sat down in kind of a bowl area here on the central campus. We have a waterfall area. And so he was kind of in a lower area. Surrounded by buildings. We had some plainclothes police officers that were in the crowd as well. We train for these things, and you think you have things covered, and these things, unfortunately, they happen. You try to get your bases covered, and unfortunately today we didn't. And because of that, we had this tragic incident. So we did have officers there. We had Charlie Kirk's team. He has a security team that travels with him, and they were here with him when he was shot.
Was the gun recovered?
I'm sorry, see?
Was the weapon recovered?
At this point, I can't disclose that.
Seems like a maybe.
Question about mass shooting. Was that person apprehended, and do you know who asked that question?
Say the question again. I don't know if I understand what you're saying.
When Charlie Kirk was shot, he was answering a question about mass shootings specifically. Was that person apprehended, and do you know who asked that question?
I do not. We do not have that at this moment.
What kind of weapon was used?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have time for just one more question, so thank you.
Yeah, a question for the chief as well. Was it your team or Kirk's team or a combination of both that kind of set the security protocol for the event?
So we work together. He has his team, and they do this all over the country. We all know that. This is not uncommon for them. They're very comfortable on campuses, and I was coordinating with his lead security guy, and so yeah, we were working together.
Was this a sharpshooter type shot?
Ladies and gentlemen, those are all the questions that will be answered today. Again, thank you for covering this. We will be updating you as soon as we have additional information
was on Colson
through
in
normal
regards
channels,
to the
working
stream.
with law enforcement. Again, our deepest condolences to the Kirk family and to the students who were there today. I would just ask everyone everywhere to please pray for their family and to pray for our country. We need it now more than ever. Thank you.
All right, interesting. Be curious to see.
Yeah, now I'm gonna go look because there's a lot of. I don't. I'm gonna go with until they say something else that makes more sense. That they have a person of interest and not necessarily the suspect.
Correct. Yeah. Sorry, I had to take it upon myself to call out. There's a lot of people out there right now who are very much quick to point out what is happening or what happened to Charlie Kirk is wrong, but not what happened to Melissa Hortman. And that is pissing me off to no end. Quite frankly, because if you are willing to call out and condemn what happened to Charlie Kirk, but make no mention of what happened to the Minnesota lawmakers or the Minnesota lawmaker who was assassinated, quite frankly, I think you're a hypocrite. And I think unless you're doing it completely by accident, I think you are being very disingenuous. And I want you to know that. So keep that in mind.
There you go.
You can't do one and not the other. And if you are, that's a problem.
There's a lot of that
I take
going on.
exception to that. Correct. And I
A lot
take
of it.
exception to that big time. Not a fan. And I'm keeping track. So, anyways, yeah, so interesting. I mean, we probably won't get a ton of new information on this realistically until um, in the nicest way possible until the FBI and the local police departments get their happenings of events together right now. It seems like obviously the FBI does say they have a suspect in custody. The local police departments and etc. seem to say they have a person of interest in custody. So it'll be interesting to see if those two people are the same. I would assume they are. Just interesting that they use different verbiage for one rather than the other. But it'll be interesting to see how that shapes out in the coming hours. Mostly because I feel like um, I feel like they don't have the shooter. That's my assumption. They 100% do not have the shooter.
That is what I gather, especially him talking about how they're still reviewing the security cam footage.
Yeah.
And that, like, they don't have a better description.
Mm-hmm.
Would lead me to believe that it is strictly a person of interest, not someone who they are sure did it.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm really curious to see what comes from that. Because is this a person of interest in the fact like maybe they just saw something and now they're questioning them? Maybe it's kind of one of those things like they're just a witness, and maybe that's why they're framing them as a person of interest. I don't know how that works necessarily.
Yeah, the way I see it is potentially someone like they saw on security camera, maybe near the person, with the person, something like
Right.
that. So they're questioning on that end. But I am seeing that, a lot of other news sources now also switch to a person of interest is in custody rather than the shooter. So
Right. Yeah.
and maybe that's some miscommunication to the FBI director, and he understood it as the shooter, because I wager he's not there, so he's getting everything kind of secondhand. So
Right, because yeah, I'm looking at AP News. This is 21 minutes ago. Person suspected in fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk now in custody. FBI director says. And then 21 seconds ago, Charlie Kirk shooter wore dark clothing, fired from roof on campus some distance away. Utah authorities say. Then Charlie Kirk was killed with a single shot in what is believed to be a targeted attack. So again, nothing too crazy there. Nothing too groundbreaking. Be again, it'll be interesting to see if that changes within the day. I'd say
Yeah.
by midnight tonight.
I thought it was interesting that they did make it a point to say that they do not believe like a second person is involved. So it's
Right. Which makes me think if they believed this person was truly the shooter, they would want the world to know that the shooter is in
right.
custody. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna lean on that they do not have the shooter. But it was also interesting, not to harp on the cop. I'm sure the chief of police for the university. I'm sure he's had a horrific day. Um, but his response was very telling in the fact when he was questioned about that firearm and recovering it or not. Um, he didn't have a quick answer. He kind of stumbled upon it and then said that he couldn't provide that information, which
Yeah.
inherently led me to yes, they do have it. It's just what kind of information are they going to gather from it? And additionally, if they do have it, that would be more confusing to me than if they didn't have it.
I,
Because if this person knew what they were doing, they weren't going to leave the gun.
I have seen, and obviously if they captured him, they probably do, but I have seen nothing that says they have the weapon in their
In hand.
possession. The last thing I saw
Yeah.
was specifically that they did not.
Interesting.
Uh,
It just seemed like his response was kind of like,
yeah,
like he was gonna say no or yes, and then like he stuttered and then eventually said that he couldn't tell anybody.
yeah. I do think it's interesting that they mentioned they had 6 officers there for a crowd of around
Yeah.
3,000 people.
Mhm.
That seems not not a lot.
Well, he also did say his opening statement was that they're a very small police force. So depending on how big the police force is, which I don't know. Yeah, to be fair, I kind of agree with what you're saying though, because the university is, like I said, it's the largest public university in Utah, I believe. So it's not exactly like they're just a rinky-dink university in the middle of nowhere.
And you're telling me they couldn't have requested help from a different agency, like the county, the state, something like. I'm not, to be very clear, not blaming them for this because I don't think even if they had more cops there that it made much of a difference probably because everybody's going to be on the ground, not probably looking on top of buildings. But I don't know. 6 just doesn't seem like it was well thought out. They could have gotten
Right.
more, but
Mhm.
also at the end of the day, I'm sure they probably didn't think they needed to.
R-
We'll call it a political rally on a campus in Utah.
Right, and additionally too, that they're 99.9% of the time they're not going to station a police officer anywhere near the shooter where the shooter actually was. So it really
Right.
truly wouldn't have made a difference. Yeah,
Yeah.
in this scenario.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second.
So
Right.
2 minutes ago, Fox News posted that Cash Patel says subject arrested in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Are they referencing the before statement, or is this something new? Because I haven't seen literally nobody else.
Right. And arrested is different than, that's a different use of verbiage there.
Yeah, this is gross. Also, 3 teenagers were wounded in Colorado in the high school shooting there. So,
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, it's let's see here. I keep refreshing to see if there's any new updates. Nothing coming through AP News right now. Last update was 7 minutes ago.
yeah,
And
I
that
would
was near the conclusion of that press conference there.
yeah, I would wager that it'll be sparse updates from here until
Right, until we get updated information.
either like they really do confirm the shooter is captured, or
Right.
that whoever the person of interest they're interviewing was not the shooter, and they need to like maybe maybe this person will give them a description or whatever the case may be. But I would
Right.
wager we probably won't hear a ton until then.
Right. Hmm.
So now, interestingly enough,
Yep.
I don't know this. It's a news chopper. It's
Mhm.
like KSL has a helicopter over the campus right now.
Okay.
There's a plane a prop plane flying around the area. It took off from the airport there south of the campus and did a like pass around the mountains and is going back. It looks like to Spanish Fork Municipal Airport.
Okay.
Outside of that, there still appears to be no other air traffic in the area.
Hmm. Yeah, because like, kind of like what you were saying too. It's just like you'd almost expect if they were seeing this kind of makes me think maybe they do have the guy, because like I feel like there would be more of an air presence trying to find this dude
I agree. So what
or
also
gal, assuming it's a guy, but
yeah,
either or.
two things. One, I'm seeing this is from CBS News. The security at the open air event at Utah Valley University was limited. There were no security checks on attendees, and Kirk had just a small personal security team.
Okay.
And then also, just this post says ghoulish Dems and liberals are blaming Charlie Kirk for his own assassination. And then there's also disgusting comments from left-wing lunatics on social media celebrating the death.
See now, and I want to point this out. This exact, I need to be very clear when I say this. And again, I'm going to stare directly in the camera. Think of everything that happened when Paul and Nancy Pelosi were not assassinated, but assaulted in their own home, which did almost lead to the death of her husband. The amount of people who made jokes about that on the right, who are trying to claim some sort of moral high ground in this scenario, is sickening. And the fact that you cannot call out one while calling out the other is a problem. And if you cannot do that, that is a problem.
Yeah.
Because The people who are making these exact comments that he is reading off, Zachary is reading off right now, are the same people who very likely laughed when that happened, or the same people who didn't say a single thing when Melissa Hortman was assassinated. That pisses me off. And if it does not piss you off, then you have no room to speak on what anyone says about this scenario here. What happened to Charlie Kirk is tragic. What happened to Paul Pelosi is tragic. What happened to Melissa Hortman is tragic. And if you can't see the difference, then you have no business speaking on it. Plain and simple. Anyways, would you like to continue? You can clip that one later if you want.
No, I was just gonna say, like, these outlets report this like it doesn't happen on their side. It's
right.
Absolutely mind-boggling to me.
Yep.
And there's people out there that just eat it up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely eat it up. Yep. It's just like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I can't put myself in the head of these types of people. Because on both sides, I think they're a little bit too far gone for my taste.
Yep. I wonder if this TV station has like the feed from their helicopter up. They are live. What is this? This is just somebody talking, so it's not the actual video from the helicopter. So I suppose before we wrap up, since there's not...
before I go on another tirade.
There's also not much coming out, and there still is no clear answer if the shooter has actually been captured or not.
Yeah.
I'll let you take it away. Where do we go from here?
Oh boy, where do we go from here? I need to go buy some alcohol for my house because I need a stiff drink after this. Fun fact, I actually don't have any in my house at all. So, man, where do we go from here? God. And this is again, this is going to be something really twisted that I'm going to say. The best thing that could happen to the country in regards to this, in my opinion, as messed up as it is to say, and I just want to be very clear that I agree, that I hate that I have to say this. I hope that this news event goes the same way of what happened to Melissa Hortman. I hope that in a week everybody forgets about it, and it's just another sad, inexcusable bump in the road in this chapter of American history. Because if it's not, as I've told to other people, this could be a Franz Ferdinand type moment for political extremism in this country. And who knows? Maybe the assassination attempt of Paul Pelosi was the start of it. Maybe it was Melissa Hortman. But either way, obviously we can see an increasing trend in political violence in this country, and it is deeply concerning. I don't know what we do to stop it. Obviously, the president of the United States has his way of delivering political rhetoric that seems to get attention, seems to get clicks, and seems to get views, which means until and unless that stops, that's not going to change. And many have said that it is that type of rhetoric which has led us to this point today. And if you do watch this, I want you to think, did we have things like this happening prior to 2016? I'm not putting all the blame on Trump, but I just want you to think, did this type of thing happen prior to 2016 in the way that it's happening today? Do you have people saying despicable things about another individual when their life is tragically taken? Did that happen all the time? Did you feel like you needed to make that comment back in the past, where maybe you feel like you do now? What's changed? Is it the environment around you? Is it the people around you? Is it the people influencing the people around you? And just realize, as I've told many people, we are humans who live on a planet floating in a solar system, in a galaxy, in an immensely large universe. And we are spending more time hating each other than trying to understand the world around us. And I hope that that changes. There you go. There's my monologue, and that's where I see it going. If we don't take a step back and honestly, hopefully let this moment pass, it could spiral out of control. And I hope that it doesn't, but I could very easily see that happening. This one feels different than what happened to Melissa Ortman, because a lot of people are getting really riled up about it that didn't get riled up when that happened. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if anything comes of it and see if anything stirs up. I hope not. I really do. I really hope that nothing comes of it. And like I said, I know it's messed up to say, but I hope that we forget about this in a week and it's a bad stain on American history. But it doesn't lead to any lasting impacts. That's because we both know that gun control is not going to come out of this, or at least we're 90% sure. Um, yeah, it's just I don't see any positive change coming on that front. So there you go.
I feel like
There's my happy-go-lucky summary.
I feel like it is fairly common sense, but for any of the left-leaning folks who might be out there doing the same thing that are relatively well known, because there's been a few of these like tours going around. It's not just Charlie Kirk.
Correct.
Maybe take a break.
Yeah.
Because
maybe
you are a target now, whether you have done anything or not. You are a target. The amount of people calling for revenge, and it's just social media, just keyboard warriors, whatever. Take it for what it is, but it only takes one of these people to actually believe it.
Serious.
We saw today. So
and they, honestly, it's tough to do for police departments, but I think they should take that stuff seriously. No different than if anybody actively made a threat on Charlie Kirk's life prior to this event happening. I think you can look at them to be a suspect. Not saying that that's the case, but this has to stop. This has to stop. Because I'm concerned that I don't want to live in an America that has to go through a French Revolution to get change. I don't want to live in an America where we have to have heads roll in order to have change in this country. And that's the direction we're heading. We are heading towards a country where the only way to get change is by having violence. And that is not the country that I want to live in, because innocent people get caught up in that violence all the time. And you shouldn't want that. I don't want it. And that is not a recipe for success for this nation. So, yeah. Hopefully you're able to get that jar open.
I sure did.
Hell yeah. Finishing on
I'm
a strong note.
I'm a strong man.
Yeah. Well, on this lovely note, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Obviously this is a live episode, so no cuts, no edits. Not that there is on any of the other episodes that we make, but
we full send
we
every
just had
time.
a couple of technical difficulties today. We haven't had another episode, so Merry Christmas. But yeah, that we won't be having an episode, obviously. But next week at this time, we'll hopefully have another episode covering something hopefully not nearly as poignant as this. And hopefully we don't have to cover this in the future. I mean, I'm sure we will provide updates in next week's episode if there are any major updates regarding this incident. But hopefully we aren't covering a similar story at a different location.
Yeah. Be sure to check out all of our socials. We're on basically everything: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I think the only thing we don't have is Instagram. We are on Twitch.
That's
You can
fine.
find us on Spotify now. This episode will be up on Spotify tomorrow. But we'll have updates between now and then on our various socials. Updates next week when we return to our regularly scheduled programming. But yeah, hopefully we don't have to do this again anytime soon.
Correct. Anytime soon. Yep. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Neutral News Network. I'm Zach alongside Brian, and Jake is alongside us in spirit.
You're Zach?
Are
you now?
Yep.
Are you?
I was hoping you just let it slip. Damn it.
No,
All right.
never.
Anyways, all
Never.
right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Brian. Thanks so much for giving me the the extra send off I needed there. Anyways, I'm Brian. That's Zach. Jake's with us in spirit, and we will see you all next week. Take care, everybody. Oh boy.